Hey, welcome everyone. I am Chris Gore, and this is Hollywood. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's a holiday, but it's also Hollywood on the Rocks. I can barely talk. Today on the show, Ng the Merciless is going to be here. Alan Ng, that's right, Alan Ng is waiting in the wings. Plus, we're going to discuss, perhaps for the very last time, the Marvels and Thanksgiving. We'll be talking Thanksgiving movies. Today on the show, we'll also be talking about The Boy and the Heron. This is the new Miyazaki movie that is in theaters. It opens in theaters very soon. We saw a preview screening of it last night. Naiad, which is on Netflix. Alan has seen, and I'm extremely jealous, Alan Ng has seen Godzilla -1. He'll give us an early review. So there you go. Lots going on. I guess we have a member giveaway today. We'll be doing that also. Plenty to talk about, and Alan Ng and I are going to be making a shocking confession. Stay tuned for it. A shocking confession from both Alan and I on the show. Something very personal that we discussed in advance that we'll also be discussing on the show. Plus your chat comments and questions. So let's get going. Let me find I have to find like that opening video that we always play. And maybe someone will turn down the music. I don't know. Here he's coming any second now. He's going to be here. Nope.
Alan!
Well, there you go.
All right. I like that picture. It's
the one where your head.
oh yeah, up. Someone went to my my improv site and pulled it from there. So.
That is actually that's the photo that when you call me, that's the photo I have for you.
Oh, is it?
In my phone? Yeah, it's your headshot for your improv.
Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, actually had to go to the site to get it.
I did. As soon as I found out it existed, I said, "Oh, that's going to be Alan's picture in my contacts." So there you go. Lot to discuss today. We're going to get to your chat comments and questions. I do want to mention at the top, many of you have asked. Lots of people have asked us, completely organically, where can I get a coupon code to get something from the Film Threat shop? I actually just put in an order myself. You can go to shop.filmthreat.com. We're having a Black Friday sale on all of our stuff. We have 50 different t-shirt designs. Find one you like on there. You pick the design, you pick the color, you pick the size and the style. Boom, you're good to go. Plus, we've got wine tumblers now. Film Threat wine tumblers, coffee mugs. Do all your holiday shopping there. Use offer code FilmThreat-HO, that's H-O, to get 10% off. You can go to the shop right now. I was going to share screen because I'll show you the designs that I picked. I don't have all the shirts. I have some of the shirts. I ordered this one right here, which I'm very excited to get this. That is the t-shirt design that I'm excited to be getting in the mail very soon. Just ordered it. Additionally, I got, what was the other one? Oh, this one. I love this one. It's basically the classic Star Trek logo font. And I got it in blue, which is for the science officer. Alan, you've got a few Film Threat shirts, I can tell.
I placed an order like a couple weeks ago.
All right, good. Well, check
I
that.
I have new shirts in the rotation.
There you go. So go to shop.filmthreat.com, offer code FilmThreat-HO. Check that out. Also, as you know, Award This is coming. Award This is coming. So here's another thing to let you know. Award This tickets are on sale. The gift bag stuff is going to be amazing. We just got Neft Vodka is a sponsor. Liquid Death Water is a sponsor. You're going to get Film Threat, some Film Threat merch in the bag, and Full Moon Entertainment is giving us stacks of Blu-rays to give away. Literally what you get in the gift bag is worth more than the ticket price. I don't know why people haven't. Just go to awardthis.com and you can use the offer code FilmThreat20 to get 20% off on the Frida Cinema website.
Yeah.
And Alan and I were talking award this. There's so many little details to putting this award show together. But yeah, go to awardthis.com to do that. All right. Let's see who's here in the chat. Let's go to your chat comments and questions here real quick because we have so much to discuss. Wow. Eric, this is an incredibly generous.
Oh, wow. Hey.
Very generous super chat from Eric Stratton for 77.77. That is a lucky number. Just giving some thanks to you guys and Ms. P. Ms. P. Well, around here we call her Ms. P Coffee. But thank you for that. I liked your stream and initially thought interviews were whatever. The more I watched and listened, I love your show and am fascinated with the interviews. Thank you. Well, thank you for being a regular watcher of the show. That's amazing. And Shucksy, hey, Shucksy's been a member for 15 months, says, I bought the Pulp Fiction and Rollerball tees. God, I also got the one that's like the 007. It's from, I think, License to Kill, the James Bond movie. Yeah, that's cool. I don't have those. I don't have those t-shirts. So that's great. Let's see some more comments here. We're going to take that off. Just go into your comments because we have so much to discuss here. I'm going to start from the bottom. From Rumble, Winter Soldier sub-supporter, in honor of California decriminalizing sex work, use code FilmThreat-HO. That code is good at the Film Threat shop. Christopher Moonlight Production says, hail award this. I've got my flight booked, car rental, and we'll be bringing Mischief Makers. You are going to have fun. I think we just sent out a notice to all the filmmakers of like what the itinerary is. It starts at 6:00. Check-in, cocktails, food. There will be food. Vodka special cocktail just made for the event. Additionally, what else? I don't know. It's just a party, and you're going to be partying with a lot of filmmakers. Alan, anything to say? And thank you, Christopher Moonlight Productions. We will see you there.
Yeah, it's great and it's always fun. So, sorry, I'm looking at the comment about my dog licking herself.
All right. Yes, Molly licks. Molly needs a YouTube channel.
You scratch, Molly licks.
Alan started his own YouTube channel now that is separate from Film Threat. It's gonna be Ing Gaming.
That's Ing the Merciless.
It's Ing the Merciless, but it's his gaming channel, and yeah. I have actually a personal channel separate from Film Threat. I think that Alan and I might do some gaming streams.
Yeah,
maybe we'll share them in the community tab on Film Threat. But I think Film Threat we're gonna keep kind of non-gaming related.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a stream soon of Marvel's Avengers playing as Ms. Marvel there.
Well, there you go. Alan,
so no one's gonna watch my stream.
Alan Horkin says, I thought Boy and the Heron came out already, but maybe I got confused by a festival screening. I saw it at a festival a couple weeks ago. We saw it at an early access screening last night. So I believe it opens in December, but we will talk about it. Assuming we get to it, there's so much to discuss. John Manilang says, happy Thanksgiving to all you beautiful bastions of movie fans. Well, thank you. Castigan, looking forward to hearing about this week's films about boobs. Well, I mean, the one thing you can always count on when it comes to Alan is, the one I wanted to show.
I know.
I wanted to show.
What can I get for you, sir?
A boob. At least one.
Great choice.
And then here we go. Triple Threat 305. Happy day before Thanksgiving, everyone. It's Thanksgiving's Eve, which is a lot of fun. Grassy Knowledge says Bree's face is like her banker just told her how much money she lost. And Eric Stratton says, anyone notice the position of the cat in relation to Bree's face head? This is the one thing. Okay. Like you can see on the thumbnail, this graphic, but yeah, it's the cat is basically about to lick the potatoes, but I don't think those are potatoes. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, Sifax, hail Chris and Alan. Was cool to see you guys for the Miyazaki movie. Cheers.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, Sifax. Yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to. Oh, we had some more super chats come in here. Oh, this is great. Hey, Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash says, hail Yellow Flash.
Hail
Subscribe
Yellow
to his
Flash.
channel. You know what I'm doing Saturday night? I'm watching Flashcast. So, and don't be angry with me, Yellow Flash. What I usually do is I'm playing a video game on my television and I have Flashcast on my iPad. And that's my wild Saturday night at Gore Ranch, which is the name of my humble abode in Pasadena. But Yellow Flash, love the show. Great nerd conversations, uncensored. Love it. Love it, Yellow Flash. Appreciate you. All right. Alan Horkin says, oh, yeah. So sorry about that. Oh, my gosh. Wait. Okay. We got a 50 from Jordan. Kratos here. Gary didn't read my super chat, so you get it instead, lol. I'm finally caught up and have some free time to watch live. Great show earlier. Well, thank you for that. I literally usually have time to change or even shower like real quick or eat. And I didn't have time to do any of those things. So it's going to be an interesting show. A very interesting show. Thank you, Jordan. That is incredibly generous. And Suns and Shadows dropped 5. That's 5 gifted Film Threat memberships. In fact, we've got a bunch of giveaways that we're doing. I know we're doing a giveaway for the 4K digital release of The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. That's later this week. If you're a member, check the members community tab. We're giving away codes. And we've got more coming up. Don't we have another giveaway?
We actually will have a code later after the stream.
After the stream, posted in the community tab. It's first come, first serve. You know who inspired me to do that was Yellow Flash, because he does stuff like that. It's like, hey, first who gets it gets the code, but we do that only for members because we appreciate our members. And Yellow Flash, I know, appreciates his members as well. Jerry Time says, everyone who's had anything to do with these Disney failures, from writers, directors, people higher ups, hire them up to Iger, should be fired and sued by the company.
Actually,
Sorry,
this is supposed to be a segue chat or a segue comment.
Oh, the segue. Okay, we'll save that because we are going to be talking about Wish and the fallout from Wish. There has been huge fallout from Wish. We'll get to it. We're going to get to it, but we have other things to discuss first. I want to do like a quick movie recommendation of a film. I have to pivot. I actually have an idea of how we're going to change things next year. You and I have to have a conversation, Alan. But I think we're going to change it to make it easier. You're actually
going to have an agenda that we can follow, and
no, we're still going to go by the
going next.
Wait until Alan is not quite aware of this very, very personal piece of information that I will be sharing later on in the stream. But there is a movie that we interviewed the director, I believe last year, right around Thanksgiving, and it's My Apocalyptic Thanksgiving. This is it's a holiday film for everyone. It's not exactly what you think, but it's from writer-producer Richard Soriano. I'm probably going to run into him actually at LA Comic-Con. There's a good chance. We will drop the link to the trailer for the movie in the description of this episode, so you can check it out later. But there are very few like Thanksgiving movies that aren't cheesy or Hallmark films that are kind of insufferable. This isn't one of those. But check out My Apocalyptic Thanksgiving. Also, Thanksgiving is in theaters, the Eli Roth movie, and I gave it a very good review. So there you go. Let's pivot. So please check out that, because what else are you going to do with Thanksgiving? I don't know that anyone's going to be going to see Wish.
Hey, last year I saw Strange World on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, what should we discuss first, Alan? I'm sort of like, I'm good with going kind of all over the map here.
Yeah.
Maestro is out at
Actually, I was gonna put that one off until Friday.
Okay.
So I think I thought I swapped it out.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could do Godzilla.
All right, we're
wanna
going to
do
kick it
Godzilla
off with Alan, this is an early review. This isn't a full
Yes.
review. And the reason it's not a full review because I want to do the full review.
Yes.
But I don't see it in here.
Yeah, I'll just speak in broad terms. It's there.
No,
What are you
no,
talking about?
don't talk about it yet.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it yet, man. I gotta this is why. First of all,
well-oiled machine.
I am only blaming myself because I have to get here early to make sure that we're all good to go. And yeah, I don't see a banner for that.
Yeah, right there. Are you in Hollywood on the rocks?
I'm doing it now. Here we go.
Because I remember you saying before the show, "Hey, I need to make sure I'm in the right banner."
And then I went to the wrong. Okay, here we go. Alan, okay. First of all, I'm very jealous of you right now.
Yes.
I have been looking forward to this movie since they dropped that first teaser, which was very short, like little just over a minute teaser of Godzilla -1. I'm a long time Toho monster fan. I saw Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, and I saw that in the theater. I saw it in the theater along with War of the Gargantuas. So I when I was a kid, I saw the Godzilla movies in a theater. Whenever they were on TV, I would watch the 4:30 movie, or sometimes the 4 o'clock movie. They changed the name of it. In growing up in Michigan, just outside of Detroit, that I quit the Cub Scouts because it conflicted with seeing Godzilla. I've collected Godzilla toys. I went to a recent Godzilla film festival that was at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana, California. I love Godzilla. I have always loved Godzilla, what Godzilla represented. And even seeing like the original Godzilla movie, I never knew that like Raymond Burr, the original 1950s Godzilla that kicked it all off, I didn't realize Raymond Burr, they just added Raymond Burr in for the American release. It's a much more serious, darker film. And if you pay attention, the footage doesn't even match. Godzilla -1 is kind of a reboot of the series. No spoilers, obviously, Alan,
Yeah.
but I am hearing great things about it. And at some point, I will love to hear you speak about the film.
I know.
I'm so jealous.
Are you
saw
done?
it.
Yes.
Okay,
Hey, I invited you.
I know.
You.
I
You
couldn't
had
go.
time, but you chose to wait instead of seeing it in the small studio screen that I saw it in. You wanted to see it in IMAX, which
I'm waiting.
I don't blame you for that.
Look, I'm waiting to see this in IMAX because I saw some people had seen it in IMAX. They say it's almost like necessary to see this film in IMAX.
Well,
because
at
of the
minimum,
sound.
you need a premium sound system.
Yes.
For Godzilla -1.
Well,
So
tell us
let
about
me give you my initial impression of Godzilla -1, and it's this: white people, your movies suck. I mean, look, Godzilla -1, RRR. Even Everything Everywhere All at Once. Predominantly an Asian movie. I mean, white people, you got to get your act together. You gotta slow down. You gotta think about, hey, think about ideas of excellence. Think about ideas of grand storytelling, and then put that in your movies. And so I've got to say, Polly here, Gringas stinkos. Oh my gosh, the moment this movie started, I was just thinking to myself, this is such a great movie, and it just got better and better all throughout it. And this is a true reboot of Godzilla, the first Godzilla movie. It takes place right at the end of World War II as the Japanese are losing the war. And it's just reminiscent of that. It's Godzilla is a monster terrorizing a city, and a little guy has to figure out a way to stop Godzilla. That's what this movie is. This is Gon is the guy in a suit. This is the CG here of Godzilla himself is amazing. The way they blend it in with the real practical stuff is incredible, and the storytelling. Deep down, it's always been a human story, and this is that human story. It's about in speaking in broad strokes, but it's about Japan trying to rebuild itself, and Godzilla coming along to be yet another threat to Japan. And so this is look, this is right up there for me when I first saw RRR. It was just a joy and a lot of fun to watch. And I'll be honest, I admire the original Godzillas, but it was a guy in a suit. And this just brings it all the way around and makes it contemporary. And you go in with high expectations on this one.
Well, here's what I've heard, and so I have some questions for you. But obviously, none of us want spoilers here. But I've heard people describing it as there's three things I've heard about this movie.
Mhm.
Please confirm. One, they're saying it's a masterpiece.
Yes.
And I agree with you that when America does Godzilla, there's something missing. There's something in the zeitgeist in Japan, in the Japanese culture that makes Godzilla based on, obviously inspired by the, just the nuclear bomb,
Yeah.
Hiroshima.
I mean, in terms of the movie itself, it is literally the first movie that tone and that feel of that first movie, but with all the production values upgraded immensely. I mean, I can't stop thinking about this movie. It is a masterpiece. Yeah.
And I just don't believe that, like, the American versions, like I'm talking about, like the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie, which is basically like a Jurassic Park film in a way at the end.
Even the Bryan Cranston.
The 2014 Godzilla, I was like, I think it's highly overrated. It had a great trailer, and it was highly overrated. The Bryan Cranston one.
Yeah.
The follow-up was fine, but like there's just the human story is dumb. So there's a couple things. For a really good monster movie, you need a human story I care about, and something we haven't seen in a Godzilla movie since the first one, which is a Godzilla, not Godzuki, a Godzilla that isn't silly, that is actually not the friend of children, which kind of where Godzilla went in the 70s, but a Godzilla that strikes fear and terror because you can die.
Yeah,
like, he is a force of nature.
Yeah, I mean, that happens here. It is a story of one person. It's a kamikaze pilot who is not very good at his job. And this story, I mean, I'll give you just a little taste of the story, but he's an outcast because he wasn't good at his job. And so everyone knew he was part of the kamikaze force. And this idea of this guy plays throughout the entire film. It's his story. And if you go back to the original Godzilla, you see Godzilla walking through Tokyo, smashing things. That happens in this movie, and it's glorious. And there are real stakes to it. In that one, it was just models. This one, it's people.
Well, like when I was a kid and watched Godzilla, all I wanted was for Godzilla to come and destroy my school. I was like, I know they'll evacuate the school in time. I don't want anyone to die. I just want the school to get destroyed so I don't have to go to school. So that was like my fantasy when I was a kid. I'd watch Godzilla week at the movies. Then, like, on a notebook, I'd just be drawing Godzilla destroying my school, because that would be a fun thing. Look, I can't wait for this film. We're seeing it next Wednesday, so we'll have a full review next a week from Friday with you and I both talking about it. But this is like shot to the top of my list of must see, along with like Dune Part 2 this year. And
I would say I would see it probably at a Dolby theater versus an IMAX.
Why don't I?
Because IMAX, it's only going to fill like a third of the IMAX screen.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. I'm seeing it both ways, Alan.
You want that sound system though.
Great. All right. Well,
let's just say same Godzilla has the same powers. It's just a production upgrade.
So all right. So do you recommend Godzilla -1?
Absolutely. And it's not. I think the other thing you said is scary. It's Godzilla scary. It's kids who can handle that kind of violence from the past. It's pretty much here. So I don't think it's horror or gory. That's probably the best way to say it.
Let's go to your chat comments and questions here, starting with some super chats that came in. Liquid Metal Rob for £5 says, when Daredevil comes out, you should do a stream called Daredevil Gorn Again with a thumbnail of Daredevil as Kirk and Chris as the Gorn. That'll happen as long as you remind me, because I'll probably forget. But that is yeah, let's do it. I like that. Thank you, Liquid Metal Rob. And Jason Webster for £5 says, Godzilla -1 has already turned a profit in Japan. The film achieved the largest opening for a Japanese live action film in IMAX. Not a surprise. Yeah. But I just think that the American incarnations of Godzilla have not been very good. And every time they tease it's going to be good. The thing is, Americans don't know how to take it seriously. Even the Matthew Broderick one got kind of ridiculous, almost like influenced by Star Wars. Like with the jets fighting amongst the skyscrapers.
Let's be real.
Terrible design of Godzilla. Terrible.
Americans don't think Asians can tell good stories, and they feel like they have to one up us. And look how that turned out. Here's my suggestion for Universal. Here's how you make a great Godzilla movie. You take Godzilla -1 and you race swap everybody.
That's how we do it here in the United States. All right, let's go to some more chat comments and questions here from Rumble.
A lot of people upset with my Asian superiority.
Oily Maniac supporter. Alan is kidding, by the way.
No, white people, your movies suck. That's
Godzilla is terrifying in this. 10-year-old Chris Gore will be pleased. I cannot wait. Jared Manning, the guy in a suit aspect is what Godzilla fans love about all the older movies. That being said, this new film looks fantastic. By the way, I don't even I'm not a big autograph person, or when I go to conventions, I really don't care about getting autographs of people. But the guy who played in the original Godzilla suit, which was made out of the same rubber that they use to make tires on cars.
Oh my God.
I got his autograph. He also played one of the Gargantuas in War of the Gargantuas.
I bet he's chronically dehydrated.
Right. Well, he famously was burned part of his body, and kept there was a fire in one of the things, and the fire actually penetrated the suit, and he's burned, but he didn't stop the cameras from rolling. He didn't stop acting. But yeah, Jared, thank you for your comment.
Here's one thing I'll say about this story. One of the things I loved about this is midway through the movie, everyone realized that bullets can't stop Godzilla.
Right. It's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Murdoch 86 says Monarch on Apple TV is worthless. I know. I've seen the first 5 episodes. It's not very good. It gets worse as it goes. Snarky people will say it's not called Godzilla. It's about Monarch. Godzilla is on the promo material, says Murdoch 86. Project Taco is a member for 11 months. John Campia likes Cowhawk. John Campia likes Cock.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's going to be on Campia Exposed, I think. Wait, Alan, could you read that chat?
Yeah, John Campia likes Cowhawk.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. All right. Thank you for that, Project Taco. And then Jordan for 5. When's the next time you'll be in Texas? Need to hang out again? I don't know. But you'll know. I usually, if I'm going on a trip or traveling, I let people know about it well in advance.
I would just say fingers crossed on South by Southwest.
Yeah, South by Southwest, we're considering it. Darth Racer 777 for 5. In GMO, it shows Japanese ships fighting Godzilla. I thought the Japanese Navy was disbanded after World War II.
Yes, they do address that. And,
interesting.
It is plausible.
Yeah, at least for a few years. So, because it's right after, it's like Japan trying to rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, there's politics plays into it, especially Japan. Japan is kind of caught between the U.S. and Russia at this point, and so there's a lot of politics, and this specific comment is bantered about quite a bit.
Gotcha. Let's see. Samuel Ayrton for 1999 or 1999 says, I still would love a top 10 list by genre. You wouldn't need to make it a segment or anything, but it would be greatly appreciated. Nerd homework for the holiday. We're going to be doing a top 10 worst and best list of the year before the end of the year. Additionally, we did do, I think it was not this past Halloween, but the Halloween previous, we did sort of like our favorite horror movies. So maybe we'll do something like that. It could be a new segment. We are going to be making some adjustments next year. That's all I'll say. Not any major changes, but things to improve what we do.
Improve and expand. Yeah.
Oh, and Beerosaurus Rex, I completely forgot about this. Beerosaurus Rex says, Chris had a great appearance on How Did This Get Made, discussing Godzilla 98, I think in like 2012.
Wow.
I did that in person, actually. They invited me to their offices, and I got to hang out on How Did This Get Made, and we talked about Godzilla 98. It was really fun. So there you go. I'm going to go back up to the top. We got a lot here. Jerry time. Everyone who's had anything. Okay, that's next. Sorry. And Yellow Flash says, I'll be posting the Oppenheimer code tonight. Hey, that's great, Yellow Flash. Love that. All right. Pay attention to Yellow Flash. Subscribe to his channel if you have not done that. All right. These are Wish related ones.
I know. Yeah, we'll get to those.
I have to. Okay. Someone who's running the show has to do a better job paying attention. I'm looking at myself when I say this. Bad Gamergate says, I would like to get to see Godzilla in IMAX. It'd be great just for the sound. Yeah.
You'll get the sound in a Dolby Cinema as well.
The Dolby Cinema is incredible. What is that game behind you, Alan? Says Brandon.
That's Marvel's Avengers. I hate to say it, but I love this game, and I've played it many hours.
Let's see here. I have the original Godzilla film on VHS. My mom bought it for me, says Solomon Thornton. You have a great mom. Give her a hug over the holiday. Godzilla 2K26. Please tell me it's better than Shin Godzilla was.
I didn't see Shin Godzilla.
I have heard it's better. Shin Godzilla is different. I consider Shin Godzilla kind of to be like one of those Elseworlds, like a type of Godzilla that hasn't existed, like sort of outside the timeline, right? Yeah. But yeah, I liked Shin Godzilla for what it is, but it is not part of the overall Godzilla lore. It's a separate story that really was a commentary on modern Japan, if you ask me.
Yeah. This one is a reboot of the original Godzilla.
Well, the newer films, and you look, they kind of rebooted Godzilla in Japan in the late 90s, early 2000s, and remade a bunch of the films, and they're fantastic. John Thomas for 5. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a great Thanksgiving movie. Steve Martin and John Candy, but nothing tops WKRP.
I love that episode.
Cool. And Doc Savage says, correction. Mainstream Hollywood doesn't believe Asians can tell good stories, all while manga and other foreign media beat them to the bank. You are 100% correct, Doc. Appreciate that. Darth Racer for 777 for 5 says, you can't give spoilers, but do any non-Japanese military forces get involved or are requested to get involved? Alan?
Yes and no. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, cool. Jason Webster says, in Japan, Godzilla -1 is well loved by audiences and critics. The Japanese film aggregator Filmmarks gave the film a higher rating than Shin Godzilla 2016. By the way, I have been talking to some people planning a trip to Japan. I want to stay at the Godzilla Hotel. It is $125 a night. The dollar to yen ratio is really good right now. It has been my dream. I went to Japan on one trip once in the late 90s. I have been dying to get back to Japan for any reason. I want to visit the Godzilla Hotel, and I want to do the Godzilla zip line. Look up, Google Godzilla zip line. You zip line in Godzilla's mouth. So yeah, my trip to Japan will be Godzilla themed. So there we go.
And I'll be honest, there's probably only one Disney park worth visiting right now.
And it's the one in Japan. Yeah.
And why? Because it's not run by Disney.
Well, fewer people fight there. it doesn't result in many viral clips. Well, look, Alan, if you want to, maybe we should plan a trip. Like we could all go.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Okay. All right. We got to find like a slow time of the year where we can take a couple weeks off. Brock Samsonite, is Godzilla -1 a continuation of a previous Godzilla franchise, or is this a new Godzilla story?
It's new. It's brand new.
Okay, cool. I think you did answer that. So anyways, that's really encouraging to hear. Real quick, Alan, real quick, while I am resetting things here, would you please look up the box office for the Marvels and look up the day-to-day?
Okay.
We're doing a check-in on the Marvels here. Because it's a Marvelsless Thanksgiving. More films have opened this weekend. Napoleon opens this week. We'll be talking about it on Friday. Wish, the big Disney film, is also opening this week. The Marvels is still in theaters. Some theaters. And by that I mean it's being kicked out of the premium format theaters, and we're going to do a live check. First, we're going to check in. It's kind of like checking in on a patient, see how the patient is doing. We're going to look at the box office for the Marvels, the current and up-to-date. Alan, share your screen.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go on the AMC app right now, and I'm going to see what movies people are going to see. I love it. The graphic is pretty funny. I'm just going to go to by the way, this is the AMC Burbank 16, where I often go to see movies, is the most profitable AMC theater. I don't know it's the most profitable movie theater in America. It's the most profitable AMC theater in America. 16 screens. Wish is playing in the Dolby Cinema. Hunger Games is in IMAX. Oh, Napoleon is also in IMAX. Dolby. Where's the Marvels? The Marvels is playing on one screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I looked it up on Friday. Last Friday, they pulled it out of all premium screens, and they reduced it for the most part to one screen per theater.
I'm going to go full screen for just a moment before I have you look at those numbers, Alan. This is 1:00 on Thanksgiving. Pre-tickets for the Marvels. Check this out. Those are the seats that are highlighted are the ones that are the sold seats.
Yeah, that's a big theater.
And that's a big theater. I'll check us the 7 p.m. show. And this is not like it's,
not scientific.
It's not scientific. Yeah, it's not scientific. The Taylor Swift movie is still in theaters. Okay, that's crazy. Let's do the 6:40 p.m. show. The 6:40 p.m. show is on a smaller screen with just as few seats sold. So there you go. Alan, why don't you read us the numbers here and the total domestic gross up to date?
You want it by day, or I mean, how do you want?
By day is fine, but if you can give us the final like up to date gross for the U.S., I think it's stands at 64 million.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, you can see up here at the end of week 1, it was at 46 million, and now it's at 64 million.
So that is current box office.
Right.
That includes weekdays.
So what is, yeah.
How much
like
money?
18. That's 18 million.
It's
in just the last week.
Okay, it's still on 4,000 screens. It looks like this is going to change. This may change come the weekend. Because it's only playing on one screen at the AMC Burbank 16. So, wow. Alan, your thoughts before we...
By the way, I should show you at my theater, it's almost full.
How many people fit in that theater?
Yeah, it's got to be at least 50 seats.
Oh my God, Alan. That's hilarious. But it's the per screen average. Let's just go per screen. Okay, November. Yeah, scroll down a little bit.
I mean, if we could do bottom. Well, here the top is the weekly. And when it opened, it was doing 11,000 per theater per screen. And now it's doing 2,500 per screen.
No, scroll down if you could to the bottom of that. Okay, per screen on November 20th $282
No,
per
that's for
screen.
the day. That's for the day.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
For the day per screen. That's
Yeah. So you're talking Sunday. Or I'm sorry, Monday. That was Monday.
$390 as of yesterday. Its current total box office is 67 million. This movie is not going to break 100 million domestic. And I believe that is that the first Marvel movie to ever do that? Not break 100 million?
It could be. Where are we at international? International is doing better at 96 million.
Right.
That is pretty sad.
Wow. Okay. I not surprising, but maybe vindication for the tweet that I put out that helped me lose friends, who I guess were never actually friends to begin with. It's very strange. Let's go to any final remarks here on this, Alan, before we pivot away.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say is, the criticisms that I got for my Rotten Tomatoes quote, I realized it was made by people who had not yet seen the movie, because once that movie came out, a lot of that criticism kind of went away.
Right. Let's go to your chat comments and questionnaires, starting with some super chats. AGDZ for 5 says the historic flop of the Marvels shows young girls are smarter at knowing when they're being pandered to than mainstream film critics. That's great. Oh, I love that comment. Pilgrim Media for 2. How many dads will burn the turkey deep frying it? Yeah. Probably a few. Thanks, Pilgrim Media. Always good to see you. Jordan for 5. My trashy nostalgia opinion. I like Godzilla 98. Fight me as Frank. First of all, Jordan, my daughter loves that movie, and I know other people who love the movie. A lot of it has to do with, and look, you are free to criticize me for liking like Godzilla's Revenge or Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. I know those movies are cheesy. I love them, but it's because I saw them when I was a kid. I'm going to guess, Jordan, having met you, that you probably saw that movie when you were a kid. So it hits different, as they say. It hits different, and that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I wouldn't fight you over that. Like, this is the thing that I think people forget, which is why it's so weird that my tweet about the Marvels, my opinion doesn't invalidate your opinion. It just doesn't. Your opinion is valid. And because I say something, it doesn't mean, feel free to go, hey, Chris, I feel this way, or whatever. It's like arguing over favorite flavor of ice cream. Alan and I could argue it all day, but the correct answer is strawberry.
No, the correct answer is you're racist.
Well, that's no. I'm just saying. Like, it's like, especially when it comes to like how you perceive art. What I was really trying to point out is, from a business standpoint, it was a poor decision on Disney and Lucasfilm's part, Marvel Lucasfilm's part, to pivot to turning their boy brands into girl brands. It didn't work. Don't do that. It's a money losing strategy. So there you go.
But if you like something, then like it, own it. Don't let people on the internet like us tell you you're wrong. If you like something, you like something, and be proud of it. Because I like things that not a lot of people like either.
Mo Lester's for $2.79 says, I'm gonna do more than zip line in Godzilla's mouth. Oh my God.
Who sent that again?
Just Google Godzilla zip line.
Who sent that one again?
It was Mo Lester.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Eric Henson, member for 10 months, says we can all get along as long as you don't think Rings of Power is good or Rey is the best Star Wars character. Oh my God. I saw such a hilarious meme. You can look this up, where it's like, it's a picture of Daisy Ridley as Rey, but she has a beard, I think a beard and like pink hair, and says, I was born a Palpatine, but identify as a Skywalker. No, I was assigned Palpatine at birth, but I identify as a Skywalker. So there you go. Wow, some very generous super chats here. Nicholas Varga.
Wow.
Nicholas Vargo, always love to see you for 999. Thank you for your thoughts on those recent Godzilla movies. These new ones did nothing for me, and Godzilla vs. Kong was so underwhelming. It was fine. It was okay. When it opens with him scratching his ass, you know it's bad. And wow, more stuff here from, thank you for that, Nicholas. Trex32 for 5 says, Chris or Alan, in for you, if you could save one part of Disney, what would it be? Pixar, Marvel, Disney animation, or Star Wars? Alan, if you could just save one.
Yeah, it started with Disney animation. It should end with Disney animation. I would say Disney animation.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the first thing Walt did. That's the thing the company did from the very start.
You know what? I would agree with you. I would say Star Wars. Just I don't think there is any saving it. I think Marvel is close to that. Yeah. Also, by the way, they're doing construction. I don't know if you could hear. Can you hear anything weird?
You could sell those 3 companies. You can't sell Disney animation.
Yeah, Disney animation. I think I would save because
otherwise, why call it Disney anymore?
Correct. Thank you, Trex, for that question. Godzilla 98 was one of the first and most egregious gender and race swaps of a beloved IP. Also, real G tears through those jets like tissue paper, says the fan with no name for 5. Thank you for that. And Running with Scissors for 20 says, let's not forget the IMAX release of The Inhumans. It didn't reach 2 million and remains the worst MCU release. Still, in my opinion, though forgotten. I think it's because didn't it come out like on television at the same time?
No, they did a special IMAX release. It was only meant to be like a weekend because I saw it at Downtown Disney.
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
But the moment they cut off Medusa's hair, it was like, then what's the point of the series?
Well, true. What is the point? All right, we're going to pivot, which means I'm probably going to show a funny video. I don't know what this is here. Wait. Here's the one.
To move objects with your hands, to get lucky, so to speak. What is the Force? We talked about...
I want...
All right. I think it's time to talk about Wish.
Yay.
And here's what we need to talk about. And we have to be very careful about how we talk about it. Alan reviewed the film last week and gave it a very bad review. Before we get into this backlash, Alan, if you could just sort of recap briefly your review.
Yeah. Essentially, this is the worst Disney animated film in the company's history. And I'm referring specifically to the actual animation of this. It felt cheap. It felt like that the veteran animators of the past have been fired, or it's like it doesn't feel like a Walt Disney animated feature. Images are bland. The action is bland, and you're going to see that there's a lot of things they did in this movie to hide the fact that the people who animated this don't know how to animate animated features or animate at all. I'll give you the best example, but when you watch Wish, there's a point where King Magnifico is riding a horse down a path. And when you watch that scene, the camera is following the King Magnifico over his shoulder, which means Disney animators don't know how to animate horses' feet and legs anymore. I mean, that's the saddest thing about this movie is people don't know how to animate. And now we're calling this the 100th, the movie that commemorates 100 years of the Walt Disney Company.
But it's also like the one thing, just as a tribute to Disney animation and what was achieved with Disney animation, is it's one of those things where a lot of times you and I see a lot of films that will be considered art films, right, Alan? Like this is an art film. This isn't for mainstream audiences. And in some cases, like a movie has something to say, and it does it in a very artful way. Disney animation was known for not just not just making something that is a work of art unto itself, but also a piece of incredible entertainment. And that's, I think, what Disney Animation had a reputation for.
Yeah.
Was
I used to buy the art books
right
after it came out. I mean, the book for Lion King is gorgeous, and because of just the painted backgrounds and you know, and I stopped buying that a long time ago. Those things. But you're right. I mean, these are standards you expect from the Walt Disney Company. These are standards you expect from Walt Disney himself, and it's gone. It's absolutely gone.
Well, sometimes it's like when something's a work of art, it's not necessarily good entertainment, right?
Mhm.
The art, entertainment, what Disney Animation did was art and entertainment were on the same level. A work of art that is also entertaining. That to me is the pinnacle. That's what you would strive for, right? And this was not achieved in this. Your review last week, when you discussed the film, and then the clip of the movie has blown up. It, at least for our channel. Our videos generally get between 5 and 10,000 views. This one is like over 50,000 views right now.
Yeah. And paired with the your controversial Marvel comments, this was a very good weekend for the Film Threat YouTube channel.
Yeah. But here's what happened. Post the review hitting, a lot of people saw this review. A lot of people. So we have to be very careful about how we discuss this. A lot of people who worked on the movie reached out to us.
Let's broaden it. We'll say that we should broaden it by saying we were people who worked at Walt Disney Animation and currently work at Walt Disney Animation have reached out to us.
And former people who worked at Disney Animation reached out to us to tell us that this was a disaster behind the scenes, that the original intention of Wish was to be a tribute to the 100 years of Disney animation history. And it was intended to be the story of the origin of the song When You Wish Upon a Star, which ties into Disney's past. None of that is a part of what Wish finally ended up being, which is also a film I have not seen yet. The comments, which I did share with Alan, and the people who reached out to me directly also asked me to pass their comments along to Alan. They asked that they all remain anonymous. But I think we can kind of bullet point the basics, which would not lead to any particular person who worked on the production. But Alan, can you briefly summarize some of what was said without anything that is revealing?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest one is that the corporate culture at the Walt Disney Company has taken a very bad turn. And this happened several years ago, to the point where I'll say it this way: the people were being hired because of their skin color and their gender versus their experience and their abilities and their talents, and that people were being put to the forefront because they were not white and not male. And the other thing is the environment got so hostile that when I mentioned that the old veterans got fired, I don't know if they got fired, but it got so bad that they left. That's why Glenn Keane is at a different company. That's why Andrew Dejas is at a different company. That's why a lot of the people you associate with the Disney Renaissance is no longer at the Walt Disney Company.
And by the way, those are not the names of people who reached out.
Yeah, they're not. Glenn Keane and Andrew Dejas.
Those are not the people.
But they are. I mean, I just found it very sad when I see them popping up in different projects, in non-Disney projects, and wondering why is the Disney Company not holding on to this fountain of wisdom, this library of wisdom, and it seems to be true that the truly talented animators, most of them have gone elsewhere to other companies, leaving inexperienced people behind and leaving behind a culture that people are in fear of losing their jobs if they say anything.
Well, and the other thing is I find that it's not particularly surprising that the story of Wish evolved from the origin of the song When You Wish Upon a Star
Mhm.
into a story about overthrowing the king of a kingdom who's more experienced, right? Like them. So I just don't find that not surprising at all. The other thing that was pointed out in the emails that were sent to us, everyone mentioned activists. The word activist was a key word in all of the emails that we received.
Yeah.
They just said there are activists within the company that are using their jobs as an opportunity to just effectively overthrow the veterans who actually know something. You pointed out in your review something very interesting, that even in the Disney class that they teach at like Disney camp, which anyone can go to, they teach a very simple concept, which is you never have a character in the center of the screen as is pictured on it's the center that's boring. You have them off center somewhat because it makes for
It's
more
the rule of thirds.
rule
And
of
also
thirds.
it's the final scene of The Fablemans when the young Steven Spielberg approaches John Ford and he gives him this exact advice. If it's in the center, it's boring. If it's off center, it's interesting.
That literally is like a film class there with David Lynch's John Ford, giving a young Spielberg protege or Spielberg, it's Spielberg, effectively telling him that advice.
Yeah. And then activists. Look, when I went to the screening, it was the West Coast press screening. And the director of the movie, basically just when describing the character to the composer, the songwriter, he used the word, she is an activist. And then Ariana DeBose then later said, I'm glad to portray a woman who is stepping into her power. I mean, this is from the people these are the words of the people who made this movie. And that's, we're not making this stuff up.
Well, here's what I want to say about this. Here's what I want to say is I appreciate everyone who was brave enough to email Alan and I to express their feelings about what it was like to work on Wish and the decline of Disney Animation Studios. I want to thank you for that. Obviously, we're keeping the identity. We're being very broad in our description. The emails were much more detailed, but these are people that have no interest in being public about this, about what has been happening. And I believe that this isn't just something that has infected Disney Animation only. There are a lot of other companies where I believe that this is happening in entertainment. And here's what I will say to those people. This is what I want to say. If you are someone who is in this space currently, you need to speak out. Enough is enough. The industry now is shrinking, is contracting. American entertainment is not as popular globally as it used to be. And what we're seeing is not just the decline of our entertainment industry. One of the United States' biggest exports around the world, by the way, American films used to be very popular around the world. That is less so today. You can put in all the activism you want, but we know these Hollywood companies are hypocrites because they're going to cut out certain shots or lines to accommodate a particular market. The final film of the 9-part Skywalker Star Wars saga ends with a lesbian kiss that was cut out of other markets. Little hypocritical, if you ask me. But what I will say is, for the people that are observing the industry in decline and crumbling, you need to speak out. You need to get over the fear of being called bad names. And perhaps even the fear, maybe even the fear of having your job at stake. If you reached a certain point in your career where you don't give an F, now is the time to speak out, because this industry is on the decline and in shambles unless people say something. So the things I would say is, one, speak out, mention these, talk about these things publicly, and number two, go make better things. Disney is not going to be a company that is going to be around forever if they keep going down this pathway. Alan, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah. Disney was the gold standard. Everybody who wanted to be an animator, Disney was the dream. It was the highest you can get. And from what I can only guess, and from what it sounds like from what people have been telling us, it got so bad at Disney that it no longer became the dream. And it was with great sadness that a lot of people left on their own accord, for that matter, realizing that the dream they thought was Disney was no longer there. And I mean, I've been in those situations at jobs I've had in the past where you realize things had changed so much that it was just like your heart and your passion is gone. And quite frankly, this is the Walt Disney Company right now. And I bet it's the same way with Marvel. I bet it's the same way with Star Wars or with Lucasfilm. They have ruined these companies. They've ruined dreams of not only the fans who have watched it, but the people who dreamt of working there one day. And it's sad and it's heartbreaking. And that's why I keep saying Hollywood is not the dream anymore. Working for one of the big studios is not something you should be pursuing. What you should be pursuing is doing your own work and doing it for yourself, not selling it, and make a name for yourself. Because I don't think you could ever work for one of these companies again without them sucking the life and soul out of you.
Well,
and that's what it seems like is happening right now.
It's like I like to say, corporations kill creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate culture,
and unfortunately, they have control over the things we loved as kids growing up.
Corporate culture kills creativity. It just does. It just does. If you look, I've been around and known artists my whole life, and been fortunate enough to know a lot of filmmakers who are incredibly creative. A few famous ones here and there, and they're the least corporate people you'll ever meet. They're used to be give a middle finger to the man, and now we've employed a generation of people that fall in line and are feel like they're good soldiers in some activist fight. It's destroying things, but I think it's important to speak out and make your own stuff. One last point before we go to your comments and questions here. One last point. It's the Wild West for indie film. Mm-hmm. And I believe a new revolution in indie film will happen. And here's why. Hollywood has all these rules that they put rules when it comes to hiring actors, or rules about AI. And can I tell you something right now? Independent film has no rules. There is a new filmmaker out there right now. Maybe they're even watching this stream. That could be the next George Lucas. Give a big middle finger to the rules and say, you know what? We're going to use a ton of AI, and we're going to use AI for special effects, and we're going to use AI for all sorts of things to make a movie that will be competitive with Hollywood. And that's what Hollywood should fear. Not just a new generation of creatives, but a new generation of creatives that can make a product that is as good as Hollywood, and that's within reach. And you've seen filmmakers like Gareth Edwards before he did The Creator, before he did Rogue One, and before he did his Godzilla movie. He made a little movie called Monsters. He went to Mexico and he brought a couple actors, and he and his brother did the effects themselves. Look up this movie called Monsters. And that's not the only one. There are a lot of other small indie movies that we cover. Do they have the best scripts? Not all the time. Do they have the best actors? Sometimes. It is within reach now for smaller independent companies to make a movie that looks bigger than a Marvel or Star Wars movie. It's within reach. With AI is just a tool like Photoshop. And someone's going to come along and be able to make a production that is going to blow people's minds, that will look like a Hollywood movie.
Mhm. I just reviewed a movie. I just reviewed a movie this week called The Mail Lady, which is essentially a Fatal Attraction. The camera work wasn't that great, sound wasn't that great, lighting was pretty bad, but the filmmaker himself nailed the pacing of the story down perfectly. He told a story that is essentially Fatal Attraction, but managed to update it and bring in AI and modern technology to it. And if you just get past the fact that he didn't have enough money to hire a full crew, buy equipment, rent lights, but you look at the story itself and the way he paced it and the way he structured it, this guy, if you give him $1 million, he'll tell you a really good story.
That's what I say all the time, is like a lot of these small indie movies that we talk about, and at Award This, and you'll be able to watch Award This on YouTube. We will be posting the show itself. These are diamonds in the rough. These are birds with broken wings that you want to see healed and soar and fly and reach their full potential. And that's what a lot of the small indie movies that we champion, that's what they're about. And I swear, with new tools, shooting digital changed everything. In the early 2000s, when shooting digital became a viable option, when George Lucas shot Star Wars Episode 2 using digital cameras. Star Wars Episode 2, by the way, Attack of the Clones, is shot in 2K. So if they do a 4K release, they'll have to up-res it. But like those early, I remember it was a game changer for independent film. When that, now there's another game changer: special effects, AI. It's going to change everything. So my message is, speak out, push back against these activists, because, and I'll end with this before we go to your comments. There's so many good comments I'm seeing here. We don't need you, Hollywood. Very famously, I've told this story before. A very famous studio executive who worked at Sony was so tired of dealing with people who took everything they do so seriously. He put up a banner that said, "Reminder, we make shit people don't need. They don't need your movies. They don't need your TV shows. You should be grateful to your customers, grateful to the people who give you money." And I believe a revolution in independent filmmaking is coming, and it's going to leave Hollywood in the dust. And it's only a matter of time. As more and more experienced people get pushed out of positions because their old ideas are old-fashioned, there's a reason they're there, and there's a reason that consistency and those traditions have resonated because they've been around for decades. And I feel like a lot of the activism I see, I'm like, that's great for a movie made for $50,000, but not in a mainstream movie that people want to just go and lose themselves at the theater. And that's all I have to say about that. And I just hope that some of the people who reached out to us, I hope they'll go more public with some of their remarks, or maybe allow us to get more specific. But we're just speaking broadly about the emails that we've received. Alan, any final thoughts?
No, when you asked me the first time about my final thought, that was my final thought.
Cool. All right. And just want to say, hey, Yellow Flash. I can't believe Yellow Flash is watching me right now. Yellow Flash 2 says truth. And then goes on to say, they did the same thing with Spider-Man 2. That's the video game. All the LGBT stuff was cut in the Middle East. They don't care.
It's the ultimate hypocrisy. It is so hypocritical.
So hypocritical, because they want to be able to tell other people, like, look at this good thing I did. Look at this good thing I did. And they're idiots. Idiots. It's annoying. Okay, a lot of super chats here. So we'll start.
Well, to me, it's the fact that they want to preach to us. They want to teach us how to think, but they won't do the same thing for other countries, because I don't know why. Oh man,
I know why.
I know why. I just,
because they want to make money.
Ultra political here.
They want to make money. All right.
It's the arrogance of America. That's part of it.
Red Dave for 10 euros. I studied classical animation in the late 90s. Small few final year students would get internships in Disney Paris. College wanted all our art in Disney style. At that time, I didn't appreciate it enough. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank
Cal
you, Red
Arts was
Dave.
the place where,
Uh,
Disney, you were Disney trained at Cal Arts.
Jimmy Seville's guilty conscience for £2 says, "Who's Fanducci, Chris? Who's Fanducci? Is that like a
I have no idea.
Fauci reference? I don't know." James Esparza for 5. Indie release for a script about Lee Harvey Oswald, written by Oliver Stone and Mark Grobert, came out today as an audio drama using clones AI voices. See where this is going? Do you see where this is going? Let's see. Wild Hunter for £2. Rippaverse is good corporation and creative. I don't think Rippaverse is very corporate. I mean, like, there are employees, there is a company structure, but knowing Eric July, and I don't know him all that well, just having met him a few times, been on some panels, been on some streams. Great guy. I don't think he's corporate at all.
Yeah.
I
think part of it is let's just say he was offered by one of the big studios to do the animated Isom. I'm curious to see how that negotiation goes out. And
I hope it happens.
And how much power Eric's can demand over his property.
You should have absolute power. Bush and Ryu Cat for 10 says, "Chris, Alan, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours." Spoiler, this is the top 3 of Time Magazine's top 50 movie sequels. Okay. 3, Empire Strikes Back. 2, Godfather Part 2. And 1, The Dark Knight. Agree? I say Empire is number 1. God, that's that's a good top 3. Top 3 like sequels. I think it's a
number
really
2
good list.
I think I'd put Godfather.
I think I would put Dark Knight. But I don't know. Is Dark Knight really? I mean, it's sort of a continue. I mean, I don't know. Empire Strikes Back. God, I don't know. Empire Strikes Back. No, now that I've.
Yeah, no.
Empire Strikes Back.
I'd put Godfather.
But Godfather, I can't. It's hard to argue. Like, all 3 of these are great sequels. What's number 1?
Yeah, they're clearly top 3, but Godfather.
But Empire so flipped the script that it's just beyond. Thank you, Bush and Ryu Cat, for 10. Oh my God, they're coming in. Member for 8 months, Mark Perkins says, "Just a reminder to get your tickets for Award This." I mean, if you get your ticket to Award This, the gift bag is filled with stuff that's worth more money than the ticket. It pays for itself. Disney's Pinocchio was the first film I ever saw. The origin of When You Wish Upon a Star. I had high hopes for Wish, says Sean Hu for 742. Thank you for that. Let's see. Working from the top now. We're back up to the top. Doc Savage for 5. When Chris told me, in private, mind you, how much he loved 2019's Cats, it didn't make me like him any less. Here's to you guys and the diversity of thought. I love diversity.
I believe it was me who liked 2019 Cats.
I've seen the stage play, and I you know what's so funny? I walked out of the movie.
Did you?
I was at a screening of the movie, and I thought, this is awful. I just went out. It was one of those movie theaters that at a bar. I'm like, I'm just going to the bar.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it was.
Savage.
I think a lot of it was the fact that Cats is more like a musical review. Right. It's song after song. There's no story narrative line to it, but it's just this really gorgeous music from Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice. And to me, that's why I like that particular movie. But I get it. Yeah. Thinking about James Corden as a cat now makes me kind of vomit. So,
well, release the butthole cut. Running with Scissors for 5 says, wouldn't a Fantasia 3 have been a better plan for a 100-year anniversary? I love the concept behind Fantasia. Mm-hmm. I love that. Salvador Dali famously was working on a segment for Fantasia that was actually cut, and he was developing an animated movie with Walt Disney. And
actually, that movie came out.
Did it?
Yeah. Weirdly, I saw it on a cruise. I saw that movie on a cruise. But I
saw the original animation that was intended for Fantasia. It was basically a few seconds of a test.
Yeah, no, this was 20-minute short, basically. The short cartoon.
You could probably finish it in AI. Godzilla 2K26 for 2. Make fun of 98 Godzilla all you want. He didn't start flying. Well, he could with his flame. Isn't that in what, Smog Monster or something? I forget which one where he flies. Jordan for 5 says, I know, Chris, I'm pretty opinionated and stuck in my ways, but I don't let that get between me and my friends. I just wanted you to roast me. But this is the thing is, I wouldn't roast you. Like, I actually like to, to debate people about movie opinions or opinions about entertainment. I like to do that. So it's sort of a gift in a way. Ooh, interesting comment here from Eric Stratton, member for 11 months, says, for Imagineers, supposedly building new rides, they have fired all but a very few experienced and filled mostly with novices using contractors.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, you heard about the lamppost that fell down on Main Street at Disneyland?
No.
Yeah, apparently one of the famous lampposts, it had gone under such neglect, and it fell down. And I believe it injured people.
Oh my God. Mr. Buttcrack Media, member for 9 months, just says, hey all. Well, thank you for that. And Torgo the White for 2 says, daily reminder, all hail God Emperor Javier Milei. I thought you were going to say Ng the Merciless. I was very disappointed in this comment, but thank you for the 2. Thought you were going to talk about Ng the Merciless. We're going to start here, and we're going to go through as many as we can. We have so much stuff. We have at least 2 major topics to discuss before we end the stream today. And of course, we got to half of what I had planned.
Yeah.
Tom Siebert says,
read this comment.
Tom Siebert says, Fanducci is Harry Callahan's recently dead partner, replaced by the new guy at the beginning of Dirty Harry. Well, that's an obscure reference, but I love Harry Callahan. I love that man. I saw that movie. I saw Dirty Harry. I don't even know if I saw it in a theater, but I know I saw it on VHS. It was one of those early movies that was released on VHS. So there you go.
Yeah, when I Googled it, I got Don Fanucci from Godfather 2.
Yeah. Latino Slant says, too gore, too strong. And Shuxy for 2 says, Chris, thanks for the package of DVD and a tea. Yeah, if you're a member of the channel, on occasion, I'll run a promotion where if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, I'll send you something from the pile of stuff that gets sent to me. And so Shuxy, thank you for that. I'll do that again before the holiday. I'll do it again. All you do is you'll send a self-addressed stamped envelope to me at Film Threat, and you put postage on it. So it's pre-postage, and then I will fill it. I'll put a notice for members. And by the way, if you become a member of the channel, join us on the Discord where you can just continue the conversation. Thank you, Shuxy. I put that. There's one thing in there I put particular for you. There's a Blu-ray that's there that I think was wrapped. So that was one I wanted you to see. Adam for 299 says, what about Brie Larson's toes? Oh my God.
Yeah, what about Brie Larson's toes?
Yeah, that's a whole other. That might be another stream. Yeah. Continuing with some comments here, and then we got to talk about something else because I like to keep things positive. Solomon Thornton, who's a member, says, history is repeating itself. Hollywood was not doing well in the late 60s when indie films took over and new execs in the studios hired the indie director and new Hollywood began. Same for the 90s. Yeah, there was Hollywood in the late 60s was kind of dying. And then a lot of these new upstarts like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Coppola, among others, Martin Scorsese, all came from the 70s when old Hollywood was kind of dying. There were some really bad movies made in the late 60s in Hollywood, like in the early 70s, like bad musicals. Basically what happened was Hollywood didn't know what audiences in America wanted, and they were not tapped into the zeitgeist. You can complain about Wish and the Marvels all you want. It's not resonating with people. It's not resonating. I mean, every Thanksgiving season, Disney was guaranteed between $150 million and $200 million for a Disney animated movie because everyone at Thanksgiving said, let's go see that movie. Well, guess what? It's dropped to between a quarter and a third of what they used to make. A Disney animated movie was a lock. That was a lock. And no longer. Disney has lost the trust of families and their movies do not resonate. And rather than look inward, they're going to try and call it racism and sexism. It's unconscionable what they're doing.
It's our fault. It's our fault we didn't see their movie. That's basically what they're saying.
Bush and Ryu, cat for 5. Can you pull up Ms. Peacock? Anyways, no. Can you put up a poll quick? We all deciding Terminator 2, Empire Strikes Back, Godfather 2, and then put in The Dark Knight.
Terminator 2. I hadn't even thought about that one.
Terminator 2, The Empire Strikes Back. Which is the best sequel? Which is the best sequel? Here's the poll. We're going to do it right now. We'll have fun. But there's another poll we're going to put up before the end of the show. You are not going to want to miss this. Bush, so which one is the best sequel? Terminator 2, The Empire Strikes Back, Godfather 2, The Dark Knight. 4. I believe 4 is the max you can put for a poll.
Where are we going to put the poll?
We're putting up the poll right now until we put up the next poll. Ng, Gore, Dante, and Paulie are a diverse crew without even trying. How are those 4 people diverse? I don't get it.
Yeah, we're all guys. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're all guys. I don't see that it's diverse. We're all men. That's not very diverse at all. It used to be that it's just like you're just sort of colorblind. You don't care. You just see the essence of who a person is, or you appreciate their talent or their virtues or how they carry themselves as a human being. But now we're told that that doesn't matter, that other things usurp. It's stupid. It's like, it's new racism. It's really dumb. And I can't believe how it's so obvious to me that it's dumb, that why don't more people think it's dumb?
I had the opportunity twice in my life to throw a team together of about 10 people. And without even trying, it came out diverse. I mean, that's where we are today. You know, it's just going to come out diverse. You don't need to force it. You just need to look for quality. You need to look for talent. That's all you need to do.
Right. Oddly, I just got an email about Wish, and it was literally just a thing with Wish, and it shows someone dressed as the lead character from Wish, and it just looks like a girl you would run into. Like nothing special about that costume. Remember when they used to have Disney princesses? I don't even know. Is she a princess by the end of the movie? Who cares?
Ooh, she is not a princess.
She's not a princess, so who cares?
They couldn't even get that part right.
They couldn't get that. Yeah. Kenji Fox for 999. What are the chances of all the talent that wokeism has driven out, creating a studio overseas, Japan, Korea, make exactly the movies they want and export the films back into the US? We're about to talk about one. I really, unfortunately, just because of time, we may not get to a lot of these. But yeah, no, it's already happening. It's already happening. We're going to discuss it. Oh my God. Super chat here from Doc Savage again for 5. The Thing was a bad 50s movie until John Carpenter took something he liked and made it good. Hint, hint, Hollywood. Yeah, I love that. I mean, the original Thing was like, it was of its era. It was a cheesy 50s sci-fi movie. It was very much of its era. It was not great. But John Carpenter took the seeds of the story, the original short story, and that's what he based the movie on.
I mean, you have to love the original in order to make a remake of it.
Stickle Jaina for 199. Have you guys seen the teaser trailer for Terrifier 3? I have not, but Damien Leone is nominated for Best Indie Horror for Terrifier 2. Some more here. Thanato Foric for 5. Empire by a mile. Thanato Foric. I finally got it right. Thank you for the pronunciation. I do like to get my pronunciations correct. Ms. P. Coffee, if you could hold comments, because I'm just not going to get to these.
Yeah.
Matthew Prince says, I would love to see a new animated movies in the Disney classic Disney 90s style or Don Bluth animation. Wouldn't that be original and interesting?
Well,
Christopher
Don Bluth
Moonlight,
was his threat to Disney at that time when he
Christ-
left and took a few people with him.
Christopher Moonlight Productions, a nominee at Award This. We're going to be hanging out in a couple of weeks. I'm making a movie with AI right now. It's called Escape from Planet Omega 12, and it's for all the disheartened Star Wars and Star Trek fans. Please send it to us at Film Threat for review when that is done. Christopher, love that. And Depeche Commode, I recently quit an agency job and let my feelings be known in my exit interview. It got so woke, they held training that went so far as to discourage the use of terms like mother and father. Wow. To that, I would say, fuck you to those people. Discourage terms like mother and father. Why would you do that? Wow, Depeche Commode. More people need to speak out.
Mhm.
This is the deal. Thank you, Depeche Commode. More people need to speak out. I mean, people are quitting these jobs. It's insane. And it's ridiculous. Thank you for that. Want biscuits. Yes, people need to avoid corporations and do their own thing. You need to just build your own corporation without this culture. But the reality of it, that so many people start companies with the hopes of selling out to a corporation for huge money. That happens. There you go. Christopher Moonlight says, close this door on stupid should be every film producer's motto. Heroes don't want power. They respect their responsibility. Very smart. Squeery Squirrel Nun. What is this obsession with power? Villains go after power, not people. Interesting. And from Rumble, Aid Ellis 24. Even Chinese animation is surpassing the crap America is putting out. No surprise.
Yes, Chinese animation is crap, but it is surpassing American animation.
Well, true. One Punch Man Tolkien fan says results of hiring POC over POT. And just so you know, if you don't know what those terms are, people of color over people of talent. And by the way, people of talent can be any color. It doesn't matter. Also, I don't think about the color of my friends or the color of people. It is such a stupid. I really lost it. Like after I put out that tweet and I had people I've known for years end a friendship with me over a tweet, just pointing out facts. This happened when I talked about Captain Marvel in 2018. Like those people were never my friends, and it's just sad to see that. But yeah, I'm tired of dealing with dumb people. I'm tired of dealing with people who are too stupid and can't keep up. I'm tired of dealing with them. I've been trying to do something for decades with this project called Film Threat, where we champion these smaller indie movies as a way to build them up. And a lot of those people, believe it or not, go on to actually work for studios. A lot of the people Film Threat supported are working at DC or Marvel right now, or are in our big filmmakers. And good, that's good. But don't forget your roots. Don't forget your indie roots, and don't let them push this bullshit on you. It's fucking bullshit. And I'm over it. I'm over it. All right, where am I? I'm sorry. Jay for 5. My first show was Alan's chair breaking live. Now I'm along for the ride. I don't know. That Alan chair thing is so
overdone. Why play it again?
It's so overdone. Why would we play it again?
It is amazing. She is the first female action hero ever in a movie.
Well, look, he's 19 years old. She's 32.
Whoa!
You transform in that.
Yeah. It's my superpower now.
Thank you for that. Geek Truth 64 member for 7 months says, I hope you all can enjoy family time this Thanksgiving. Visiting my family tomorrow. Right after the Lions game in the morning. Got to watch the Lions game. It's on at like 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Jumping in the car to go visit family in Orange, in the OC, behind, or as this is what we say in California, behind the orange curtain. That's the orange, Orange County.
Well, yeah. I mean, we said we were gonna end the stream early because I gotta make dessert I gotta head to Costco and buy a pie.
Costco's open later. We got 2 more things to talk about, Alan.
Actually, I already bought the pie.
Matthew Hammond for $4.99. Godfather 2 is the pure movie sequel.
Mhm.
I understand people's rose-colored glasses, but Empire Strikes Back and Terminator 2 have their own problems.
Well, Terminator 2 just fundamentally changed the Terminator movie series.
Right. Not only missing the magic, seems devoid of it, says Jay. And let's see. False advertising, says Tom Siebert. We were told Napoleon was today, and my film major nephew wants to go, but I am dubious. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Tom. Apologize. We just don't have time. But Napoleon, I'm giving it there's a preview. It is going to get a mild recommend from me. It is a war movie, and it's gory and glorious.
Yeah,
So,
to me, it's good, and I would say it's perfect for the high school classroom setting.
if you want to learn about Napoleon, just watch this movie. It's like the cliff notes of his battles, and it's very gory. Tom Siebert goes on to say, is Alan Ng saying Wish is worse than Strange World? Alan?
Didn't we do this one already?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, from an animation standpoint, absolutely. Strange World is a masterpiece compared to Wish.
Let's see. We have over 1,100 people watching live. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. We're trying to get to 100,000 before the end of the year. We're almost at 97,000. It's possible. Jerry Time says everyone who's had anything to do with these Disney failures, from writers, directors, we already said that one.
You got to unstar those when you read them.
Well, I could use some help.
Well, you're reading them. You just click the star button and then it's done.
Sean Hugh for 742 said, I'd still vote for Empire, but Aliens should have been on the list. You can only do so many.
Now unclick that star.
Yes, Ms. P. Coffee. Let's see the final results of the poll, because we're going to start something else. We'll get to the final results of the poll, but we're going to pivot to something quick here. We're going to pivot. And while we're pivoting,
you want to put in the main chat? Or?
No, I know what to do. Put it in
okay.
Yeah, put it in. Okay. And we're gonna do the results. Before we do, just a quick reminder. The poll. And the poll. Okay. Quick reminder about Award This. It's not like any other awards show.
Oh, hey. Oscars, huh? Oscars can suck it! I don't even have a penis. Watch Award This at awardthis.com.
Reminder there, you can still get tickets to Award This. Go to awardthis.com. Use the discount code FilmThreat20 to save 20% on tickets. Their tickets available for under $20. Just come party with Alan and I. It'll be fun. All right. Now, here's something I really want to do. I want to talk about, we've sat here, we've talked about, Alan has reviewed Wish. Alan has, we've talked about the backlash internally with what's happening at Disney Animation. But I've got some positive news for you out there. There is an animated film that you can see this weekend. It's Miyazaki's new film, The Boy and the Heron. And it is in theaters now. We got the early access screening yesterday, but it is now open for the Thanksgiving weekend. And Alan, tell us, what is the story of The Boy and the Heron?
You might want to tell this one, and you'll soon find out why.
Why?
Why? Because I think you got a better grasp of the story than I did.
Well, the story's really the story's pretty simple. It's about a young boy, Mahito, and the opening scene of the film, he loses his mother in a deadly fire at a hospital. He races to her aid, doesn't make it in time, and his mother dies in the fire. And effectively, years later, his father is about to be remarried to kind of a new mother, someone to kind of act as his new mother. And there is a spirit from another realm that is inhabited by his mother that comes to talk to him in the form of a bird. And his mother kind of takes on a lot of is represented by things in this spirit realm. And it's effectively, if you are familiar with Hayao Miyazaki's films, they're whimsical, fanciful, and sort of toe the line between a kind of depressing reality along with a fantasy world that's brought to life. This is no different than that. Someone who I know describes this film as kind of a it's like a Miyazaki's greatest hits. It's the kind of thing that he's known for. And I love this film. I saw it for a second time last night. It's what's interesting about this movie is kids can watch this movie because it's an animated movie. Kids can watch the movie, but adults can also be entertained by this movie. Right? It toes that line between, like, it is almost 2 hours, but it toes that line of, like, it's this fantasy world, but also with this harsh reality of a boy struggling with the loss of his mother, trying to fit in at school. He's bullied by kids. It's a very relatable film. And when he kind of crosses over into this fantasy, that's not an original idea. It's like Wizard of Oz, right? There's the real world. You're dealing with problems in the real world. You go into the fantasy world, and in the fantasy world, you're working out your problems from the real world. That's the gist of it. And Mihati is this. He's a Mahito. Sorry, is a precocious 12-year-old boy who's now dealing with the death of his mom. And when he crosses over into this other world, it's a completely different set of rules. It also has just a bizarre sense of humor like Miyazaki has in his films. Alan, what did you think of The Boy and the Heron?
Yeah. Part of me wishes you don't set things up like this.
Why?
Because okay, I'm gonna take the unpopular opinion here.
What?
I don't get Miyazaki.
Oh wow.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. I mean, literally, if I hadn't been seeing, if I hadn't hung out with you guys before this screening,
Right.
I probably would have walked out halfway through. It is, and I hate to say it, I just never got the. I mean, I get it. It's beautiful, it's poetic. But that's just not what I'm. It's like I sit there and watch. I keep thinking to myself, what is it that people are seeing in this that I'm not seeing? This is certainly true with The Boy and the Heron. I mean, because you kind of like when you see a title like The Boy and the Heron, you expect the heron to be kind of this beautiful, magical, majestic creature, and it's just this weird, ugly guy who's kind of morphing back and forth between him and the heron. And I get it. Like the first movie I saw of his was Spirited Away, and it was just like, what is this? What is this nonsense? And it really wasn't. The only movie that I got of Miyazaki was Secret Life of Arrietty, because it was a straightforward narrative based on an American novel. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say some bad things here. Like, Miyazaki to me is a little bit overrated. I think there's a specific audience for it, and it's like, I mean, I don't mean to insult you here, but it's like when you walk into an art gallery, and people start talking about the colors and the composition and all this stuff, and all you see is a big paint splatter on a canvas. That's kind of how I feel when I hear discussions of Miyazaki.
Well, here's
I
what
know
I'll say.
your daughter was very pissed off when I was saying all this stuff, and
She enjoyed the film.
I know, and again, don't let me stop you from enjoying this movie. But looking at the chat here, I know that I'm not the only one who thinks this way.
Well, first of all, I do agree with you. Miyazaki is an acquired taste. It's an acquired, like Mr. Howell, what's his name? Howl's Moving Castle, is also another one of those. I saw it recently. Unfortunately, I saw it in the theater with a dubbed version. I didn't know it was dubbed. I thought it was subtitles, and Christian Bale and Billy Crystal do voices. It's not very
Yeah.
good. The dubbing is.
Well,
I really
mean,
like
say,
it.
like
For
Totoro.
like these.
Like Totoro. Everyone was telling me for the longest time, Totoro is the greatest movie ever made. And then I'm watching it. I'm going, what am I missing here? I mean, it ends on a cat bus, a journey on a cat bus. And I didn't get it. There's themes and higher themes and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I just don't get it. I'm sorry. And I was telling a friend of ours, it's like, they're going, why, why are you like this? And I go, and the only excuse I can say is I've probably been away from Neverland too long. And,
Right.
It's just, yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
Look, okay, we're gonna
talk about the greatness of
the thing is this: you've got two opinions. Alan didn't like it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and even better the second time, because it is a little weird. I do believe that his movies, Miyazaki's movies, because there's so many layers to it, they improve upon multiple viewings, and you can actually. I feel like I get more out of it upon second and third viewings of his films. But look, here, I have one question for you before we go to the chat comments.
Okay.
Alan, is The Boy and the Heron better than Wish?
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Look,
Yes!
it's a better animated movie than Wish. It's a better story than Wish.
All right.
At least, at least while watching Boy and Heron, the thoughts in my mind was, what the hell is going on? At least I was engaged in that way, as
All
opposed
right.
to sheer boredom.
Yeah. Okay. Couple quick. Let's do super chat here from Red and Vader for 2. Frank Ming, backstory of I Heart Refrigerator. That's just a guy. I think he's in like Florida, and he's a guy who sells refrigerators, and he does these local commercials that are hilarious. And I think that people just like them.
I love the conversation going on in the chat, because it's like half of everyone agrees with you and half agree with me.
I think also you need to see it multiple times. I feel like you see those movies multiple times and they hold up. Alan, do you love Refrigerator?
I love Refrigerator.
If you have to see a movie multiple times to get it, then there's something wrong with your movie.
Not get it, just get more out of it. Pinfinity sends in a $4 super sticker, and I'll just say Pinfinity. By the way, I have right here. This is a limited edition Pinfinity pin that was put out for Award This, given to nominees. You use an app on your phone. It's augmented reality, and this pin animates when you point your camera at it. This Pinfinity pin. So there you go. Pretty awesome. Thank you, Pinfinity, for go to just look up Pinfinity. Google that. Oh, results of our poll. Here they're in. Which is the best movie sequel? The Empire Strikes Back wins at 43%. Number 2 is Terminator 2 at 28%, The Godfather 2 at 16%, and The Dark Knight at 12%. The poll complete with 337 votes. All right, Eric Stratton. A little bit of me died inside with Alan's take, says Eric Stratton.
I know.
Oh, there you go.
Here.
Flav says herons are considered divine in Japanese mythology, as they can pass between heaven and the mortal plane. I am with Alan, says Rida Ibn Muhammad. Shucksy, not enough Asian representation in these movies for Alan. Is that true?
Pretty much.
Tom Siebert says former Disney junkie just can't make the transition. Brock Samsonite says, are whitewashed you and made you American Asian, Alan. You don't understand Japanese culture anymore. Miyazaki specifically focuses on Edo culture. That's fine. Look, I respect Alan's opinion. It's fine.
I'm an American.
Look, Alan's up until recently, Alan was a Disney shill. So there you go.
That money ain't coming anymore. That's for sure.
The Introspect M, who's a member, says, I'm with you, Alan. I find most Studio Ghibli stuff boring, beautiful, rich, whatever. It's often quite boring.
I mean, literally, I'm just begging for this movie to end halfway through.
Yeah. Mario says Miyazaki is not overrated. He is just not for everyone. Well, that's what I would say. I would say Miyazaki is sort of like the David Lynch of animation. Not everyone loves David Lynch. David Lynch is an acquired taste, but I love David Lynch. Love David Lynch. And I think Miyazaki is that when it comes to animation. Miyazaki is not making animated Transformers or animated. It's different. And for that, I mean, the guy's in his 80s. And Naptown Nerd says, stop the Asian hate, Alan. Yeah, Alan, stop it.
I will say, like, after watching that movie and Godzilla, it just dawned on me because we're watching World War II movies from the perspective of the Japanese. And I'll just say it, the Japanese weren't exactly on the right side of history in that one.
Nope. A Wild Hunter for £2 says Blue Eyes Samurai, best animation on Netflix. Do you know that Netflix actually has an anime channel on YouTube? Netflix has, it's basically trailers. They promote, it's Netflix anime. That's how much Netflix is leaning into anime. That's how big it's becoming. So that's pretty huge. So, well, here we go. We are going to end the show today. Don't leave. We're going to end the show today on, I got to find the banner that was set up for this. Well, first we'll get into it. We got to get into it because this is something that is, this is something worth talking about. Let's go.
A freaking IKEA chair.
All right. I have a confession to make. Alan and I have never slept together. And Alan and I have never slept together in the same room. But at a point, there was one point where we were actually going to go to some, I forgot, it was a film festival or something. And Alan and I are like, oh, we'll share a room. It's like, all right, yeah, we'll share a room. Like, no big deal, whatever. Two friends sharing a room. And then I learned that Alan and I share a very similar problem. We both snore. This is true. Both of us snore. And some of us snore so much, there may be like a machine required to sleep. But I'll just say this. I wanted to really explore my snoring. This is true. This is true. So here's what I have to say about this. I got this app. This is real. Okay. I got this app called ShutEye. What does ShutEye do? What ShutEye will do is it records you sleeping and it records noise and it tells you how often. This is a real app. You can get in the App Store, ShutEye. It records like how often you're in a deep sleep. So you're in a deep sleep, you don't hear noise. How often do you snore? Do you snore 2-3 hours out of a 7-hour sleep session? What other noises are there in the night? Well, one of the things I began to discover upon using this app, ShutEye, is that not only did it record my snoring, it recorded other noises. And some of the other noises that were recorded using the ShutEye app included things like talking in your sleep, pet sounds, and there are other things it labeled. And we are going to decide once and for all, we're going to decide which is more entertaining. And this is we're going to put up a poll. Ms. Peacoffee, if you could ready the poll. Which is more entertaining? The Marvels or Chris's farts? Okay, that's not the only one. Literally,
What are we doing?
I exported from the ShutEye app, which you can get on the Apple Store. You can export and send different sounds to your friends. So it says hashtag check my flatulence during my sleep. There are other clips. Let's go to the next clip. And I have a very important poll question that I'm going to ask. And the poll question is this: which is more entertaining, the Marvels or Chris's farts? Here's another one. No matter how old I get, I still think farts are funny. I have 4 clips. Let's listen to the 4.
Our viewer count is just dropping right now. Oh, we just dipped below 1,000.
Okay, I don't know what that was. Here we go. Let's get the poll going right now. Gore, Flatulence, or the Marvels, which do you find more entertaining? I'm going to play one more clip. And did you find this more entertaining or the Marvels? Here's the last clip. All right, the poll is up. It's live. Here's what's funny. I actually asked.
Yeah, tell me what's funny.
A few weeks ago, I was telling you the story of like I'm using this app called ShutEye to try and like monitor my sleep, but it basically ended up recording my farts. So I want to know. I want you. First of all, this is a very serious poll. I want you to take this seriously. Which is more entertaining? Which did you laugh at the Marvels? And look, no disrespect. If you had a good time watching the Marvels and you laughed a few times or smiled when you saw Iman Vellani as Ms. Marvel, no shame coming from me. If you enjoyed it, that's fine. But you might have found my farts more entertaining than that. So, all right, the poll's going to be up for just a few more minutes. Let's go to your comments.
By the way, no, I'm not going to record my farts. Oh my god.
Oh my god. SP of the North says only for the hardcore fans of Film Threat.
Oh man.
Matthew Longo, Chris, nobody saw the Marvels, so you have an advantage. Watcher says Alan's pain is funnier than the farts.
I'm like, where are we going with this?
Leith, Ray, I want to know, seriously. I mean, Chris put a fart in it and made it lame. What are you talking about? Judd Goswick, Chris is working up to say he will sleep with Alan, but he won't go to sleep with Alan. And Judd Goswick says, CPAP will change your life.
Yeah, CPAP saved my life. Let's just put it that way.
Alan snores in Chinese, though, says Joseph.
Yes.
So, and 8Ellis24 from Rumble says, that is why Alan is looking forward to invading Japan. Oh my God. All right. And David Lynch had some weird shit. One last time. Okay, we're going to go. Hey, we got a Mexican Iron Man is coming in just at the right time. Member for 15 months says, Chris, I think me and Alan should get a Marvel movie deal. Let's make it happen. Yeah, we'll just
we can definitely make a better Marvel movie.
Right. All right. No, okay. Men who are watching this, and I know our audience is mostly men. Our audience is mostly men. I don't care how old I get, farts are still funny. Alan, what say you?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
All right. Let's get the results of the poll. It's been up. Ms. P Coffee, if you could put the result of the poll in there, we'll do that. But look, I wanted to just end with something fun. And I thought this would be fun.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Hey, don't tell me you won't be doing some of this on the couch. We did actually lose about 200 people who are watching.
I know. It's just dropping.
Come on. We're just having fun. All right, let's see. All right, the vote's in, and this is democratic. Which is more entertaining? Chris's farts, 91%. The Marvels, 8%. My farts won. That was 228
Like
votes.
if you put one of your farts in a white tank top, I'd be more interested.
Well, yeah. I mean, all right. Let's see. We still have some like. Bobby's World for 10 says, happy Thanksgiving, Chris and Alan, and the incredible mods and the amazing chat. I'm thankful for not sleeping next to Chris. Chris, have you ever farted so bad you woke up from your sleep? Lol. No, I never have, but I was just looking at try the ShutEye app. It's free for a couple weeks. But I just
try it, everybody.
Try it. But it was just like
Everybody
it wasn't just recording. It wasn't just it can identify farts against snore. I thought it was very funny. So yeah, thank you, Bobby's World and $8.24. No wonder the climate is changing with all that flatulence coming from Chris's ass.
It's Chris farts, yeah.
And Red Invadered for 2. Alan, Godzilla 1, Asian -1, Asian representation.
Yes, it's
Question
there.
mark. Well, there you go.
It's there.
Well,
White people don't
look,
come out so good in this one.
okay, I just want to be able to say, my farts are more entertaining than the Marvels. This is where we're at.
All right.
My farts are more entertaining than the Marvels. It is just now.
Yeah. I'm gonna send an email to Kevin Feige and tell him what's better than your movie.
Oh my God. Anyways, well, that wraps it up for us. Friday, we are doing a show. We're doing our normal live stream on Friday.
We will talk about Napoleon on Friday.
We will talk about Napoleon on Friday. There's a lot of other movies that we missed. Go see The Boy and the Heron. Do not go see Wish. And there's a Film Threat Black Friday sale. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. Use the discount code FilmThreat-HO for 10% off at the Film Threat shop for a limited time. Pick up a Film Threat t-shirt. Alan, just want to say happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving, Chris.
I appreciate it. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun hanging out with you last night because we don't get to see each other. I mean, we saw each other.
That was a very last minute thing pulled together too.
I'm really happy we got to hang out at well, you got to see Godzilla -1, but in spite of the fact that we disagreed on a movie, had a great time. Also want to thank our mods. Want to thank Lord Thoth and Latino Slant. Thank you. And Ms. P Coffee and Glenn, our producer. And a final super chat here from Jade Scott for 10. I came for that brie turkey. I'm staying for the gore farts. And that about
we deliver.
There you go. Thank you everyone in the chat. We appreciate your support. The channel has really over the last year blown up, and I'm just grateful to all of you for that. We wouldn't be here without your support. So thank you. We're going to keep going through we're not taking a break over the holidays. We're going to be here, probably more chill streams over the holidays, just hanging out, talking about stuff. But thank you for that. So we'll see you on Friday. Alan,
let's get out of here.